Hi, Caboozles here, and I thought I would do a quick video on how to effectively construct a side deck. So I've seen a few people asking about this online and around, so I thought I'd do a video to help. And this is my thought process on how I would construct a deck. Obviously, I may not be the best player in the world, so if you disagree, comment, let me know. I'm happy to accept any help I can kind of thing on this, and also I'll give you guys as much as I can. So first of all, I'll run through a number of cards that would you generically see in a side deck and why you put them in there. So first of all, what a side deck is for really is to help your deck deal with certain matchups that you might be facing. But so the kind of cards in here are cards that would be useful against certain decks, but not all decks. Because if they were useful against all decks, then they'd be in your main deck kind of thing. So these are cards that are going to help you out for a particularly poor matchup. Obviously, everyone's side deck will be different because it depends what you're going to face. So I would construct my side deck differently for locals than I would a big tournament because my locals isn't particularly competitive. So I know what kind of decks I'm going to face and I'd decide different cards. Whereas if it was a big tournament, you want to tailor it specifically for the meta. And you may even main things specifically for the meta at a big tournament. So things like Mistake have definitely been mained. But like if I did that at my locals, then they wouldn't be that good cards. But anyway, we'll run through some common cards that are in there and sort of why. So first off, Light Imprisoning Mirror, obviously for those light decks. Obviously only run this if you don't run any light cards or any like useful light cards. So for example, in my Infernoid build, I run Lightsworn, so I won't put this in my side. So yeah, obviously just don't end up screwing yourself over because I have seen people do that by accident. So Light Imprisoning Mirror. Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, similar thing. Again, only put it in decks that don't use dark monsters. So obviously you'd side this in against something like Burning Abyss and this in against something like Tellarknight or Cosmo. Royal Decree, it's not that relevant at the moment because decks don't use that many traps, but if they did, this is a great card to put in the side or main. I mean, main it if you don't run any traps yourself, but you could always side out your traps and put this in. Mystical Space Typhoon, I mean, the next few are similar, so there's Mystical Space Typhoon is one whether you want it in the main or the side. That'll depend on the format and what kind of things you're facing. So if it's like Pendulum heavy or lots of continuous spells and traps heavy, then you want to main your MSTs, not side them. But then you've got Fairy Wind for Pendulums. It just helps break their scales and it can be really annoying for them. Similar with Anti-Spell Fragrance. When this is up, because Pendulum monsters can't be set in the scale, and if you can read this, I don't know if you can, yeah, basically this makes you set a spell card for a turn before you activate it. So basically, this makes it so they can't be activated at all, because obviously you can't set Pendulum monsters, so this is really good against them, and it's definitely worth siding it too. It's also good against decks like Necros that rely on spell cards in order to summon. I think this is going to be becoming really, really relevant soon. So, yep. Mistaken Arrest, this is for decks that search a lot. Mistake's another card like this that I don't have here, and Mind Crush is another one like this. So, these are very good against decks like Necros, and also to a certain extent Cleafort, because they search a lot to get their combo pieces, kind of combo heavy decks. These can really help out against them. But again, obviously, remember when you're siding, if it hurts you too, you may not want to put it in. So just remember that. So you've got Mistaken Arrest. Imperial Iron Wall stops cards being banished. This is really good against Infernoid and Ritual Beasts at the moment. Bane of my existence when someone flips this against Infernoids. I mean, there are outs to it, but they're incredibly annoying. And this can be run in lots of decks that aren't those, so this is definitely something worth putting in your side. Effect Veiler, this is just a pretty good side deck card, to be honest. I mean, I'm not sure if I like it too much because it's a hand trap, and it's not continuous. It's just I tend to prefer those because I feel like this is a bit more fragile, and maybe it's just that it requires a bit more skill to use, if you get what I mean. So maybe I use it wrong, but it's still, nevertheless, it's a great side deck card against decks like Necros when you can... They summon, say, the Manju or something, and you effect failure it, stop them where they are. Mind Drain, Soul Drain, all of those things, depending on the meta, they could be really good. I mean, this one isn't the best one to stop hands traps, but I guess if they ever make a hand trap deck, then this would be good. But there's one that stops graveyard effects, which I think is Soul Drain. No, maybe it's that, yeah. The name escapes me, but nevertheless, it's a great card for graveyard decks. Let's have a look. Maxi, I love this card personally. I mean, I have actually even mained it before, but to be honest, I think it's worth siding at the moment because it doesn't do very much against Yosenju at all or Tower's Turbo, to be honest. So I would side it, but it's great against the vast majority of decks. and it is just a really good card. Yeah. Again, remember when to use it though. Use it to stall your opponent's plays. And please, if you get Maxi, don't play through it. I've seen lots of people try and be like, okay, I'm just going to continue doing my thing. Surely it won't be too bad. If your opponent draws 4 and you can't take them out that turn, then you've probably lost. So just try, unless you can take them out, don't play through the Maxi. Stop there. Thunder King, I do like to main sometimes because he has 2 effects. So you can't add cards from deck to hand except by drawing them. And he can be tributed to stop a special summon, to negate a special summon. So he's an incredible card. I think he's worth a spot in the side of the main. So it's great. And I mean, you can just Thunder King, set 4, and win, basically. Tellers do that quite a lot. Chivalry, this is quite a new, well, it's not, it's an old card, but it's a new one for side decks. It's really good against Cosmo, because they use lots of hand traps, things like that, activate effects in the battle phase. This just helps you deal with that. It's a really good card, and it's cheap at the moment, so worth picking up in my opinion. Vanity's Fiend, if your deck doesn't special summon that much and has ways of getting things out, this is a great card, worth side decking. Grave of the Super Ancient Organism, old card. I had it for, well, I think since I was a little kid, I pulled this card whenever it came out. So it's a really good card, well worth having. Again, another cheap card at the moment that can be really good. It basically means that level 6 or higher special summon monsters on the field can't declare an attack or activate their effects, so this can be great against certain decks, like Shadol, things like that. If your deck uses low-level monsters or Xyz monsters, this is brilliant. It's also good against Infernoid, things like that. Things that have high-level monsters, basically. Rivalry of Warlords. I haven't seen this that much in decks recently, but I'm not entirely sure why, because it's a great card. Really, really good card. I don't know why people wouldn't use it. Yeah. So it means each player can only control 1 type, which is great, because in decks that only use 1 type, this is excellent, but this is, against something like Shadows or something that uses different types, this can be detrimental to them, because they just can't summon. So this is great for that. So that's just a quick run through of the kind of cards that you use to build a side deck. I will make a future video on side decking itself. I think the main thing to remember when constructing a side deck is what kind of things you're actually going to face. So, like, maybe the first time you go to your locals or something like that, just construct quite a generic one against decks that you know. Then once you're there, get a feel of what's being played a lot, and then cater your side deck to that. For example, say say there was lots of Yugioh going on at your locals, you could side in that the Cyber Dragon guy, and you could put a Cyber Dragon and the fusion monster whose name escapes me at the moment, so that you could special summon your Cyber Dragon and then just contact fuse that and one of the Gigi monsters away to get out that Cyber Dragon fusion monster, which can be really good against them, and things like that. So just cater your side deck to the event that's going on. Okay, thanks for listening. I will do another part on how to side deck at a later point. The main thing I'd say, remember, for people who really don't know, is if you run Upstart Goblins, side them out for whatever you side in. But apart from that, you're going to side things out like dead cards against that deck, and it's just things that haven't been that beneficial in that matchup. But yeah, thank you very much.